Hi and welcome to this special video. It is not about a new moon or full moon. It is about GameStop and the New York Stock Exchange and whether GameStop will stop the game. I mean, this is, of course, as always, for entertainment purposes only. And what I'm talking about right now is not that I say this will definitely be happening, but it could happen. And that astrology is a form of describing energies, and not to say this is what actually will happen, but these energies will be happening at a certain time. It is almost like an energetic weather forecast, where you say, there might be a storm coming, but how strong the storm actually will be, or will it actually throw your house away or the house 10 kilometers away, is difficult to say, or how much it will affect you. Like, for example, the Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn conjunction in Capricorn in 2020. Astrologers talked about that for over 20 years. They said there will be something coming that will change the whole of society. And it did, but they didn't know that this was coming. They all described it as something very like a catharsis, but they didn't know how this catharsis will be. And in Capricorn, it was very likely that it will make an end to certain structures of our society, that it will transform certain structures, but how it will really then occur, that is never something you can say. You can only describe it like, for example, you would have a phone call with someone and you would describe the landscape you are standing in, and the person doesn't know this landscape or doesn't know what the weather is like, and you describe, yeah, it is a bit cloudy, but will it rain? But it looks like it is likely to rain, and it is describing something where you cannot say this will happen exactly the way I said it, but it is energetically, what is the weather like? What is the landscape like of this event or of this energy? And the same goes for cards, and what I pulled in my cards is actually quite similar to what will be in the horoscopes. It is Morgan Le Fay, Ereshkigal, Challenge and Sorwin. So from the cards we would say that this relationship is very likely not about to last. The essence of this relationship is not about I'm here to last, but it is about I'm here to bring change. I'm here to bring a huge transformation. With Sorwin, it is about a transformation. It is about a death of what has been and no longer can be. And it is about time, and this relationship comes to bring that change. And that what I think might be a point of an actual change is during the new moon at the beginning of March. And I pulled some cards what this new moon will bring, and it is with purification, with Iago, with the moon, and with the underworld, or the journey into the underworld. It is about a form of betrayal, a form of crisis through betrayal. But I would say that this new moon, also in the cards, it is shown that this new moon will bring a crisis. I will first talk about a little bit about GameStop and the New York Stock Exchange, and then the relationships, and then the transits. I will also have to say that I didn't look very deeply into the whole matter, because I didn't want to be too biased. I just wanted to have a look from what I see astrologically, because if you know too much, the danger is that you will be too biased. But what the whole thing is about, this is a very vague description, but it is about selling shares that are not real to make personal profit, and that there was a kind of revolution on social media against that, and that this was happening around January 27th in 2021. And it is interesting that during that time Venus was transiting Pluto in the composite chart of both, and Venus was transiting Pluto between January 24th and January 27th, and on January 26th Elon Musk Musk twittered GameStonk. So he was pointing a finger at this whole process. And on January 27th, there was this whole action of social media users buying a lot of shares from GameStop. And this was really interesting because transiting Venus was activating this cardinal cross that is also in the chart, and that talks exactly about what I saw in the cards. It talks exactly about this cross of change. This cardinal cross is also called by many astrologers a karmic kitchen, where you have to make adjustments. You are forced to change. And this whole relationship is about being forced to change something. But we will now have a little look at the horoscope of GameStop. I would say the essence is about don't try to define me, don't try to put me in a box. With the Sun, Ceres and Uranus, and also Venus in Pisces in this conjunction, but the Sun and Uranus and Ceres in Aquarius in the 11th house is about I am revolutionary, I don't like to be put in a box. I think the subtitle of GameStop is the power to the player, so it is also the image they give themselves. And this whole I don't like to be put in a box, I don't like to be put in very strict structures, this is the essence of this company. So side note, I don't think it was the best idea for GameStop to go to the New York Stock Exchange. This was certainly not what was meant to be, because I mean also in the image of GameStop you see that there is something, we like to be shady, we like to be a little bit different, we have a certain form of exclusivity, but not like the stock exchange. We have an exclusivity of being a little bit different, of being a little bit shady, of being a little bit edgy. This kind of shady image. We are different, we are edgy theme going on. Instability is our way to be stable, let's put it that way. And we are wild and we are free, and we don't like even to be limited by truth. We like to sometimes be a little bit fluent also with the truth. So it is interesting to me what we will see also with the New York Stock Exchange, that there is a trickster nature in GameStop. It is just different than the New York Stock Exchange. It is this kind of, we are the trickster, but we know it, and you know it. And the New York Stock Exchange is a totally different story. The New York Stock Exchange says, with the Virgo ascendant and the Taurus Sun conjunct Mercury and Venus in Taurus, we are here to give structure to things. We are here to materialize things. We are here to make your dreams come true. The only problem is that with Jupiter, Neptune in the second house opposing Saturn and the Moon, and also in a quincunx to the Sun and Mercury, is that we are also selling disillusionments. We are also selling losing a lot. We are also selling disappointment. We are also selling great lies. We are selling castles in the sky. So just on the first glance it seems that we are giving structure. The New York Stock Exchange is a trickster. It is like comparing a little river to the ocean. So this is to me comparing GameStop to the New York Stock Exchange. The New York Stock Exchange is a vast ocean of selling illusions and betrayal, and somehow people know it, but it is selling this kind of, you can be on the side of the winners. Try it. And that is, I think, the huge game of the New York Stock Exchange. Pluto trining Jupiter, Neptune. It is selling a collective dream. You can make it. You can be the winner. Of course there are losers. Yes, we know. Yes, we know that there will be losers. Yes, we know that there will be maybe even a huge disappointment and a huge losing in the game. But you can be the winner. You can be different. And with this Pluto trine, it says, yeah, but this is a collective dream. This is not just a few trying to betray the masses, but they are only able to betray the masses because they are selling a dream to the masses. That is why it is working so well. And it is interesting because in the chart of the New York Stock Exchange is also Uranus in a position to Pluto, and the New York Stock Exchange started in 1792. It was during the time of the French Revolution in 1789, and this was this opposition of Uranus, Pluto, and where also Uranus was discovered. So this was a time of revolution. This was a time of great restructuring. And it is interesting that this rebellion aspect is also in this horoscope, and that this rebellion aspect is part of a T-square to the sun. So somehow it is also in a constant adjustment. And Varuna, the asteroid Varuna, is on the North Node, and Varuna is an old Vedic god of the cosmic order. So somehow there was maybe an idea to bring more power, more money, power through money to the people, and in that giving more fairness. But this is just one little aspect. The New York Stock Exchange was started through the Buttonwood Agreement, where merchants came together and said we need to find certain agreements where we protect our trade market against shady businesses. But I mean, what we see in the chart, there was some truth to that. There was some truth in this idea of improving, in this idea of making things better also for the people, for everyone. But what we also see in the chart, that in reality, with Saturn, Moon opposing Jupiter, Neptune in this money axis of the 2nd and the 8th house, that in reality that meant that for many, the Moon, the people, it will bring loss, that it is again money or wealth to the few and loss to the many, that this is in a way part of this. We sell a dream and we sell an illusion, and we know it, but it has to do with a problem that goes deeper, and this is in our human nature, that we want to be on the winning side. And with this tendency, you sell me a dream where I might be the winner, and not thinking about what is the other part of the consequence, what is the other side of the coin, that there will be losers, that I'm not interested in that because I only dream of being the winner. There will be winners and losers, and that as long as we dream that dream, we will cause suffering. So it is, in the end, it is about a human dream that has to change. It is about a collective dream that needs to be transformed. The New York Stock Exchange is just a picture that makes it visible. In the relationship, in the synastry, and also in the composite, is that Mercury and Neptune of GameStop is squaring Jupiter, Neptune of the New York Stock Exchange. So it is a weird game of, but which trickster energy is actually stronger? Which trickster will be the one who has the better games? And if I'm true that during this new moon, some truth will emerge about this trickster energy of this whole relationship. I don't know whether it is on a large scale or on a small scale, but there will be coming something visible during that time. And the Sun, Uranus and Ceres of GameStop is on Pluto of the New York Stock Exchange. So it is a very explosive aspect of revolution. Again, this is all already in the essence of this relationship. It is not a surprise that this happens with GameStop from an astrological point of view. And Mars from GameStop is opposing Jupiter, Neptune of the New York Stock Exchange, and conjunct the Moon, Saturn of the New York Stock Exchange. So going to the New York Stock Exchange was weakening this, I would say, rebellious way, this edgy way, this we are free, we don't like to be put in a box theme of GameStop. So as I said before, it maybe wasn't that fortunate for GameStop to go to the New York Stock Exchange. And Pluto went over the MC, and the decline of GameStop started years ago, started already in 2008 and continued on. So this crisis is not just since January 2021, it is going on for years, and there is a huge betrayal that is going on for years, a huge crisis that is going on for years. During this new moon, Mars, Venus, Vesta and Pluto are right on Mercury and Neptune, and also in a wide conjunction to the MC of GameStop. So I think this new moon is the point where there might be a huge shift with GameStop, maybe even the end of GameStop. But this ending will also affect the New York Stock Exchange in a big, big way. And Saturn is also approaching the Sun in Aquarius with Uranus. So there is a big structural change coming. The decline of GameStop, or the end of GameStop, is near, I think, or at least in the way it is structured right now. So if you look at the composite, there is this great cross, what I was talking about before. When Venus triggered Pluto in it, every time a point in this is triggered, then there are changes. GameStop, in a way, is in a constant fight or struggle with the New York Stock Exchange. It was never smooth. It was never easy. If this would be a chart of two people and someone would ask me, but should I marry this person? Well, I would say, are you really sure? And if this person would say, yeah, I'm sure, I want to, then I would say, yeah, but you have to see that this relationship is a relationship of transformation, and it is very explosive. This is the nature of that, and the nature of this is explosive, and you can't change it. And this is what I said before with this picture of being on the phone and trying to describe a landscape. If I would describe it as a landscape, I would say it is a volcanic landscape. It is something that is very explosive and about to explode any time. And every time a point of this cardinal cross is triggered, there is an explosion. Sometimes there are very small explosions, almost invisible, and sometimes there are huge explosions, like on January 27th. And I think we will be close to a huge explosion once again, because first and foremost, Neptune is crossing over the MC of both and in conjunction to Mercury. And I would say, to me, this means that this relationship will end very soon, because certain lies will be visible, certain betrayals will be visible, and I think both sides are involved in this betrayal. And the new moon, or Venus and Mars and Pluto, are in a conjunction to Pluto of the composite and are also triggering it at the same time. And Chiron is on Venus and Mercury at that time and is triggering this whole square. So very likely during this new moon something will happen. And also it is during the Pluto return of America, and Pluto in the chart of the US is in the second house. So it is probably about finances. So this will bring a huge shift. This end of this relationship might be happening during the whole year, but I think during this time there might be some lies getting ready to be on the open. Some truth will be revealed, and it might be on a small scale or it might be on a big scale, but there will be some form of revolution, there will be some form of upheaval. And interestingly enough, also in the composite, Pluto in a trine, this is the only trine that is in this chart, is between Pluto, Uranus and Saturn and Lilith. So it is about transformation. It is about Lilith, or Ereshkigal, making the shadow visible. It is about making the shadow visible. It is about bringing the shadow to the front and saying, but this is what really is happening. It is about the end of lies. It is about the end of certain betrayals. So I would say this is already in the chart. And Uranus will be on Midas. So this is also something. Midas is not part of this grand cross, but Uranus is also triggering Midas. And Uranus on Midas is saying, are you sure you can eat money? Are you really sure? Are you really sure you can eat gold? And interestingly enough, it is also in the chart that the asteroid Lucifer is conjunct the North Node. The North Node brings light to something. The North Node is where we are going. And with Lucifer, it is the essence of this relationship. I want to put light on the darkness. I want to put light on certain dark aspects that are there. So in astrology we say that one aspect is not enough, but if certain themes repeat itself again and again, then you have an overall topic that is in this chart, like describing a landscape. If you say, yeah, I think it will get stormy, and even if I see a little bit of blue in the sky, there are clouds coming, I feel the wind. So there will be a change, there will be an evolution, and I think there will be an end to this relationship. Or it might be even a revolution to the New York Stock Exchange. We will see whether this will happen. This will be a moment where we cannot longer look away. So I think this new moon will bring a change and will bring something to the forefront. What we try to look away before, but what will become real. As a conclusion, I would say what I already said. It is not about, in the end, about the trickster nature of GameStop or the trickster nature of the New York Stock Exchange. It is, in the end, about our own human greed and a certain way we dream success to be, or we try to build our dreams around, and that maybe this is also something we as a collective should think about to change that. Because everything is due to impermanence. The New York Stock Exchange might not be there in 10 years, who knows? GameStop very likely is not there in 10 years anymore. But if we do not change, then it doesn't matter what is there. It can have a total different name. It will be the same energy of selling a certain dream that causes pain, and maybe we should start to dream a new dream. I would say this is the main message of this video, and that we in the end have to stop our game. So I hope this was helpful, or at least it was entertaining. Till next time, namaste.